Good afternoon, everyone. This is Danny from Danny's Luxury Cruise Vacations. We're an affiliate of the Avoya Travel Network. And today we have Sarah from American Cruise Line joining us to have a short little conversation about her amazing product and the company she works for. And we're going to learn a little bit about this amazing product, and hopefully you'll join them on one of their amazing cruises. Welcome, Sarah, and thank you for being here.
Well, I thank you, Danny, for having me. It's a pleasure to talk about our product because it's pretty unique. A lot of people are not that familiar with us.
Well, they're going to get to learn a little more about it today. So that's the whole point.
Exactly.
So let me ask you this, if I may start off by asking, obviously with a name like American, you guys cruise in the United States. Could you please give us an idea of where you cruise so the consumer knows what might be of interest to them?
Absolutely. It's a kind of an amazing story. It's a family that owns this business, and it started with a mother and father 50 years ago on the Connecticut River. And now currently we have 19 ships and 50
Oh,
destinations.
wow.
They can go just about anywhere. We do all of New England. We do the Hudson River. We go out of we do the Southeast, out of Baltimore, out of DC. We sailed from places like Charleston all the way down to Florida. We have sailings actually in Florida, believe it or not, which is kind of fun. Those are brand new this year. They're going from Tampa down to down to the coast, all the way down to Amelia, not to Amelia Island. But there's just so many different new destinations that we're doing now. We also even do Alaska, and which is kind of unique, and we're doing it in conjunction with Denali National Park. The Mississippi, of course, is well known. That's usually where a lot of people get started. But we also are doing now the Tennessee River, the Ohio River. We're actually branching out even into the Midwest. We're doing things such as Nashville. We're doing Nashville to Memphis. People want to go to music cities. We're doing the Columbia Snake River, which is one of my favorites also. It's fascinating. And so you have a huge amount of diversity, and really people are starting to find us and realize, wow, it's time to maybe investigate my own country.
It's a lot easier to travel from home, no passport, no long flights. It's easy. It's very
It
easy.
is, it is. And if God forbid somebody gets sick or they want to get home for some reason, there's an emergency, all they have to do is get off the ship and go home. We
That's
don't
it.
even we don't even request a passport.
There you go.
You're a US citizen, you're on board and off you go.
Beautiful, beautiful. And if I'm not mistaken, your ships are relatively small, so they're very intimate and people get to know each other. So I'm assuming the service is even several notches higher than on the large ships.
Well, that's very true. I used to work for the big ships, and now the big ships are kind of out of control. They're anywhere from 1,000 passengers to like 7,000 passengers. The beauty of American Cruise Lines is it's a really intimate experience. It's almost like being on a private yacht. They run from 100 passengers to 200. That's the max.
Nice.
So it's pretty unique, and even the staterooms they're quite large. I mean, an average stateroom is close to 300 square feet, which is good size.
Right.
So it's a very different proposition here. And also, what makes it fun is when you have small ships, you don't have to go to big ship terminals. We can pull into beautiful marinas where there's yachts. And a lot of times, when you pull into small marinas, you can get off the ship and just tour the city right there. We're the only people actually that sail into Washington, D.C., if you can imagine,
Oh,
which is
wow.
kind of neat.
Yeah.
It's pretty special. So that makes it even more intimate, and just you get to see the country in such a different way when you approach it from the river or from the ocean. The beauty of it, you see beautiful homes, you see wildlife. We do a lot of voyages that are in the Inside Passage, which is phenomenal. So it's a totally different experience than arriving by car or by boat or not by
Yeah.
boat, by bus transportation. Quite different.
Having said that, is your product truly all inclusive? Once people pay for their voyage, are there any incidentals that they need to be concerned about?
It's very, very rare that there's any kind of a bill at the tail end of their trip because the nice thing is that 60 days prior to their sailing, they pay in full for the cruise. And that cruise actually includes not just the staying in this beautiful stateroom, but it includes all of the meals, it includes all of your beverages, whether it be wine, beer, or alcohol. A lot of times it includes many, many tours. Some of the tours are actually complimentary, they're already inclusive. And even the ones that aren't, you will pay for them, but you'll pay for them in advance. And what's nice is they usually run under $90 per person, not 300, 400 like the big ships. So everything is pretty inclusive. The entertainment is inclusive. We also do a really, really nice, we do a beautiful, at 5:30, we have a special cocktail party with all kinds of hors d'oeuvres, shrimp, crab, all sorts of wonderful little things. But also, if you want a martini, if you want a margarita, if you want a glass of wine, it's all included. And we have music, and we have pianists, or we'll have singers or a band. Sometimes we even have some sort of a drama event. But what's nice is everybody comes to that event every day, and they get to meet one another because it's a small ship.
Mm.
It's after a while, it's almost like you have a whole bunch of new friends on board, which
Exactly.
is lovely.
Nice, nice. Now, as far as the clientele, booking the ship, I mean, do you have a lot of solo guests? And if you have solo guests, are there solo cabins? Are they playing 200%? Can you share a little there, please?
Yeah, that's important. We have a lot of different ships. We have riverboats, we have paddle wheelers, we have the brand new catamarans that are the newest. We have coastal ships, and most of these ships definitely have solo cabins. Some types of vessels will have more than others, for example. But what's nice is they're not paying 200%. They're usually paying about 140% or 150. And also what's nice is the rooms are not small, they're quite large. I saw quite a few of the single staterooms, and they run over 200 square feet. They're good
Oh, wow.
size.
Yeah.
So they're really comfortable. So that's important also for people to know. And some ships will have more single staterooms than others. So, for example, when we have like maybe a group of friends that want to go, and if you have a lot of people that want singles, then by all means, we'll direct them to the ships that have more single staterooms
Got
as
you.
well.
Okay.
And sometimes people realize that, they save a little bit of money if they share the room with another roommate. And if they've got friends, sometimes they'll opt to do that because they'll save a little bit of money.
Right.
And the staterooms are quite large. Most of our staterooms have balconies. So not only do you have this nice large stateroom, but you could sit outside, have a cup of coffee in the morning or a beverage in the afternoon and just watch the world go by, right from your stateroom as well.
That was nice. That when we did the cruise with you folks, we went actually Memphis to New Orleans, and we stayed a day before right next to where Elvis lived. And it was amazing. We loved it. It was fabulous. But and we had a balcony, so it was nice being out on the balcony,
Yep.
sailing down the Mississippi. And I noticed, and I'm assuming that's the case with most of your ships, that most cabins, except for a few on the lower deck, are balcony cabins.
That is absolutely correct. The lower deck may have some, like for example, even on the brand new catamaran, we don't have any interior staterooms.
Right.
I used to hate those in the regular ships because I feel like I'm in a closet. But seriously, we don't have any interior rooms. They're all exterior. The lower deck will have usually some that are like big picture windows.
Hmm.
Like even the catamaran, they made it like a little love seat thing, so you could sit there and look out in this beautiful like triple window. But most of our staterooms do have balconies.
Nice. And what would you say the demographics is? I mean, I sometimes people are concerned on something like this on a smaller ship, and maybe because it's a little bit of a higher price point, they figure that it's going to be, maybe 50 or 60 plus in age. What can you share on that? Do you get a nice mix of people?
I think that's true still. I think it's starting to change because so many more people are starting to realize how many different things we can offer them that, before it was just the Mississippi and, a few other itineraries.
Mm.
Now that there's so much to offer. But in general, it is still an older crowd. It is changing with time because of all the different itineraries. And even more so, there's so much multi-generational travel now. You see the grandparents with their kids and their grandkids. So, and they want to explore America. So we're finding that is starting to happen as well. And so you'll see, I would say it's 55 and over in general. And what's really kind of fun is that everybody on board gets to know one another. So you develop new friends like immediately.
Right. Yeah.
Plus, and that does make a difference. We see a lot of people rebook, like 40 to 50% of the people will rebook while they're on the cruise, on another cruise,
Okay.
and they've made new friends and they want to go to a different destination and see their new friends and their old friends again. So it's a really fun experience from that standpoint as well.
Nice. Nice. Now, what type of entertainment do you have? I mean, obviously, this is not a big ship experience. You're not going out into the ocean. You're going to see and learn American history. Excuse me, American history. Having said that, what type of evening activities do you have? I mean, do you have like guest speakers, things like that?
Yes, we actually have guest lecturers. That's a very important component because a lot of people they realize that they really want to learn about their own country, the history of the country, the culture, the art, and so we find a lot depending on where they're going, we'll have different types of lecturers that are really very, 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 very knowledgeable about the destinations. So we do guest lecturing, and sometimes it's even during the day. Sometimes it's also when they get back on the ship because generally people will have breakfast and they go off on a tour, then they come back and have lunch, and then they go back out on a second tour. So that's why we do that 5:30 hour as well. In addition to the different guest lecturers having their own sessions, we often will even have guest lecturers at the cocktail party because they're talking about what's going on the following day and where they're going and we'll also bring musicians, which is really fun, from the ports that we're in. Because we're right there, we're not in the middle of the ocean, we can bring people in that are entertainers that'll give them the feel of the
Nice.
areas that they're experiencing. So that's really, really nice. So I find that makes it very comfortable. The other thing that I think is really important with us is that they designed all of our ships so that the entire population on board the ship can dine at one time in the dining room. It's big enough for everybody. So that's nice because there's no early and late dining. You're not assigned a table. You can eat where and when you want. You meet another couple you want to join, you can do so. It gives you that sense of like being at a boutique hotel, being
Right.
able to do what you want to do, which is really special.
Cool, cool, cool. Which leads me to my last question, and you kind of hit it to a certain degree, but I guess I'd like to just elaborate a little more. Who is a good fit for American Cruise Line? I mean, I know we discussed people that want, to learn maybe a little bit more about American history, cruise close to home. Is there anything that we could add to that?
There really is. We do cruises that have to do with wine country. We do cruises that have to, believe it or not, up in the Northwest, we do tulips like you do
Oh,
in
wow.
Holland,
Oh,
and it's
wow.
absolutely gorgeous. We also do vineyard tours, wine tours. And so sometimes people will do a whole thing, it'll be about wine or about food. But also it could be about music when you travel, for example, in the Mississippi and you travel into Nashville. It can be also artists. We do art. There's so much art that's involved, so much history. We also have Civil War cruises because people want to see like Gettysburg and those incredible areas and what happened. And not only is it the history of our country, but it's also the battlefields and the history that we may have learned about it when we were in grade school and high school, but we certainly forget about it as we go along. So there's a lot of different interests with it. And also the ships are small enough that a lot of times you'll have like a family that maybe wants to do a reunion. They can take over the whole ship and go where they want, and have their own, they can have their own experience and their own theme.
Cool.
So we find a lot of different themes that are available.
Nice, nice. Well, Sarah, this has been very educational. Even though I'm in the industry and even though I've sailed with you folks in the past, you certainly taught me a lot, and I've learned some new things. That's fascinating. I want to thank you for sharing this wonderful information with us, and look forward to having some customers and clientele come on your ship.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to share our experience with you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome, Sarah. Hold on.